like how that's what you call getting the skin over the cotton. You could go in if like some part of it was just huge and you didn't like it, and cut it and then glue it again. Okay, it's not pretty at this stage, it's not, but we're creating the shape that you want underneath you're creating a womanly shape. I mean, women have hips. Another thing to be careful of while you're doing all of this is that you don't get a lot of thickness in front of her hips. That is not a part that you want to have a big buildup of cotton. I want the buildup on the outside. And this is looking pretty good. She's going to be wearing a flouncy skirt. I need to clean my hands. So the more padding around her hips will help her to, will help that to stick out. And of course, all of this gets covered anyways with the bloomers, pantaloons, or a tube slip if you do it that way. This isn't something that is just there. So that is, you know, I would tweak that for a while, but a little bit more real flat in the front. And I want a little bit more height there. You could, if you wanted to, like I just need a little bit there on the side. Just kind of put more on there. That's better. Okay, and then you're going to be, if you're going to be using your bloomers, or even if not, you also want to watch the thickness of it up through the middle. Like you're not going to be able to get bloomers or pantaloons on if this goes down really far. So you get that flatness back. Okay, so you can see as I'm working this, and I had that, you know, some glue on it, it's kind of like you are kind of sculpting it. And this is one place that you can cut it if you want to. Is you don't want this cotton going up her back. Like I said, you want the waist clear. So you can cut that. You can cut. Maybe no one else does it like this. This works for me. Some people might be horrified watching me do this. Okay. And then make sure. I mean, some people, if they want to do say you're doing a costume with a big train and a bustle, they would really build up this back part to help the shape. You need to be thinking about the shape that you want your doll to be. I don't want a big waist. I don't want my costume to look thick around the midsection. She's a young girl, but I want hips. I'm gonna just, this part got a little bit too thick. And each doll is different where, depending on which legs that you're using. Like if you have to do this all the way up the thigh, it's a little bit harder, a little messier, I should say. Ended up taking that. Okay, I need to clean my hands again. And then this is another time that you kind of, you know, set these aside for, if you can, if you have the time, set them aside for a day to dry. Standard backup. That's pretty good for what I want this doll to be. Just, you know, it's kind of, I'm going for kind of a pinup look. So I want her to have hips. She's going to be wearing a short skirt. When she's dry, I'll go through with denatured alcohol or nail polish remover and easily clean up any of this glue. Make sure she's still in the pose. So she's kind of got one hip sticking out. That's the way her legs are standing. But this is pretty good. But so, like, you can see it gets kind of hectic where it's like halfway through you're like, I'm screwing this up because one leg's shorter than the other. It's like, just keep working at it, keep pulling them down, making sure that you're not pushing them up too far. Checking the balance and thinking about the shape. And basically you're sculpting with this cotton and a little bit of water and the tacky glue. Some people water down the glue. I've never tried that. I don't, just easier to just do it this way. It doesn't have to be pretty perfect because it is all going to get covered with your bloomers or pantaloons or your tube skirt. Just the shape is important. Some cotton balls are better than others. Some tear easily or are just like too wispy and kind of useless, and that's the brand I have here is the Q-Tips brand, but I've used all different, you know, all different brands. So that's it. And like I said, the arms, you do that after you get your costume done, right before you're ready to do your it's kind of the last thing that you do. And from here, the next step after she dries is I do stockings, because I usually do tall stockings and then I make my shoes. So the stockings are going to go under the bloomers. They're going to go under the shoe. it's nice if you have white legs and then you don't have to worry about that. So I hope that was helpful and not too weird. I'm not very good at doing tutorials. This was super last minute and unplanned. So hopefully that helps. Thank you for watching.